Hello, good day. Welcome to Inner Alchemist Tarot for a short oracle reading before our weekend ahead reading on Wednesday. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Spirit, as you're always looking out from our eyes. It's us humans who tend to turn away for whatever reason. As we continue to co-create this place and walk in beauty. And these oracle readings are here as a gift from me to you. And thank you for subscribing to the channel and helping it grow and sharing it with others. And may it be assisting you as much as I like doing it. I really enjoy doing this. So let's get started here. The first card that was pulled is Kindred Spirits. Spirit companions, guides, and comfort. Get the glare out of there a little bit. So if you look at this card here, let's try to make it a little clearer. Okay. As human beings, we are sometimes very aware of what seems to be our aloneness. We are surrounded so often by crowds of people, yet there's a deep and almost overwhelming yearning for true friendship and companionship. We yearn not simply to be around others, but to be seen and understood, cared for and communed with. So many of our interactions now lack that soulfulness. And we sometimes yearn for the companionships that we know we are meant to experience. This woman has felt this way too, and has taken herself away from the rush and hurry into the world of nature. Where in the most liminal of spaces, perched on a fallen log, crossing a magical stream, she finds the stillness and the peace she has longed for. Within that, and in between space and the quiet and the awareness that grows within these spaces, the beings of the worlds in the in-between can come to her. She speaks there to a being who forms out of the energy around her, who arises from the streams and the air and the trees, and comes to share with her the comfort of spirit. And as you can see in the picture it's right there. And there's also, looks like there's a little fairy over here too. Perhaps you, too, can take comfort from such places, to find the shelter beneath the willow tree, to find the flowering bower within the garden, to sink your feet into the earth between the roots of a great tree, and in that quietness and connection, speak. Tell the hidden worlds of all that troubles you, and wait for the voices that will come and whisper their words in comfort. For you are loved. And in the stillness and the wild silence, their voices can finally be heard. So I have kinship and friendship beyond the worlds of the humans, and spirit loves me. You know, you can't expect for human beings. Everyone's really fickle, and everyone's doing their own thing, selfish for a reason. And so you can't, expect people to understand you. But when you speak in your silence, with your inner being, your higher self, with God, the universe, you'll really have, that understanding of what you're seeking. But it's not so much of what we expect from human beings. And when you do that, it takes off the energy and the pressure from other people to have to try to understand you and, agree with you, or it's always good to just have a nice soul talk conversation with another human being, for sure. But this card here is presenting that really get out into nature and, get out to nature and listen. Pick a good spot. Ground yourself. And I want to point at number 23. In numerology, 2 and 3 is 5. And our card here in the next one is 4 and 1, which is 5. So we have the 5s coming up, which is the breakdown from the resting period into stability. A conflict time of some sort. If you listen to the weekly reading, there is some stuff, there's a lot to it. That's why it was really long this time for that one. Usually goes between 22 to 25 minutes, but this one was 30 minutes long, and it was a lot coming up. because we're going between, the ending of the Mercury retrograde. We're still in the energy, isn't going to be really potent at this time. But then also we're moving out of Taurus, the earth sign, into the air sign of Gemini. And there's a lot more going on. Worldly events in your own personal life, people you love, and life in itself. So we have the seahorse there, and float like you mean it. You're reminded that although you are but a small part of the whole, you are significant and you have the power to change things. And that's Seahorse's message. Seahorse symbolism is reminding you to be persistent in your goals. However, you should also make sure that you're not too inflexible and stubborn in achieving them. If you are lost or confused at the moment, the Seahorse meaning is asking you to take a good look around you and your situation. In particular, look at the physical and the spiritual, so you can get a better perspective on things. You can get more of the bigger picture. The spirit animal teaches you that must allow yourself to be guided in the right direction by the flow of the current around you. In other words, when you see the way to move, anchor yourself and stay focused on your goal. Perhaps for some of you, it can mean letting you know that it's time for you to make a move. Perhaps you've been procrastinating and with what makes you feel safe. So let go and take the plunge towards making your dreams a reality. The seahorse is considered a very lucky totem too. The males carry the young. So float like you mean it. And it does go hand in hand, not just with the numerology of 5, which is conflict, battle time, a time of uncertainty, unrest, and put the pieces where it goes, because this is a general oracle reading. But it does go hand in hand with the kindred spirit cards that we just pulled there. Perhaps you sacrifice your own needs to help others. Okay, you may have a strong desire to protect the young and those weaker than themselves. You have a gentle strength and serenity about you. Usually polite, considerate, courteous. So maybe a big caretaker of the home. Some of you might be caretaker of the children at home. Or involved with caring for the children. So it's anchoring, awareness, contentment, fatherhood, friendliness, generosity, inflexibility, parenting, patience, perception, persistence, perspective, protection, and sharing. And here we drew up the apple blossoms card. Sorry about that reflection there. I'm using a different light today. So the apple blossoms, and this is a quote. This is an unknown person. Choices, knowledge, and illumination. White are the flowers of apple tree that brings us fruits of fertility. And white is the absence of color in the color wheel. So again, it's another stepping away period. Perhaps that's time for you to take a time out to really get perspective before you move on. Okay. Here we have gift. And as you can see, there's a mermaid, and she is giving her crown over to the little girl. Again, it's a crown. It's like her most prized possession there. So the key words to this card is treasure and blessing, abundance, receiving, accepting. The awakened souls are seen in an exchange in a magical moment. The little girl is having her dream come true of finally meeting a mermaid. She will carry the gift of magic, belief in the wonders and the knowledge that dreams do come true with her the rest of her life. It will aid her in times of struggle and momentary doubt to keep going. They say, how do you get rid of doubt before it starts? The mermaid is in a vulnerable place, letting herself be seen and connected with the beach. Instant kinship is formed. She gifts the little girl her sea priestess crown, her most treasured possession. While it is a gift of extraordinary value, she knows that it is giving it to another person who is also in receiving mode. This gift for a deep personal impact on the little girl who will champion the preservation of the oceans and the mermaid's home. It will also keep her connected to her inner child every time she adores it. That's important. Did you know that you're the most valuable gift to the planet? The gift card has arrived in your reading today to remind you of this message. The biggest gift that you can give others in the world is being who you really are. Sharing your gifts, love, passions, and creations with the world without dimming your light or filtering it with a mask. The card also represents a time of blessings coming your way and being received. So align with this energy by staying open and appreciative for the blessings in your life, being ever ready to accept more. There's an art to receiving humbly and with graciousness. Often people find it easier to give than receive. I feel some of you might be. Again, put the pieces where it goes for you. This may be a sacred challenge to you, so accept more positive things in your life and about yourself. Don't let anyone take your gifts of belief in magic. Believe in your dreams and your spirituality, your work in the world, and most importantly, yourself. So keep the gift you were born with, which is an open heart. I'm open to the gifts all around me. That's the message of this card. So how can you embrace your gifts more? This one is unplugged. And as you can see, this card is all about, she's opening the door, she's looking out at nature. There is the nature's right there, right? So perhaps it's time for you to unplug from social media. And that's what I'm bridging it here with this card too. This is beautiful. Bridge. So she's unplugging it from the screens, phones, television, all technology, all the things that stop her from living in the now, connected to what is real. She's grateful for all the positive things that technology brings her, but the cloud of static was still starting to weigh her down. So she's looked at the window countless times, seeing the beauty of the outdoors, the wall being the only thing that separates her, but she felt so much further away. Her soul craves connection, but she was looking at it in the wrong places, leaving those distractions behind in her house. She doesn't even look back as she walks into the sunlight, allowing the sun to recharge her in a divine way. Before, she would take her phone, but today she's decided to be present to the wonder around her. So perhaps it's time again to unplug, find real connection, get your body moving. It's a card of being present what's going on around you and not looking at life constantly through a lens or a screen. Your life is the greatest miracle you're ever going to receive, so don't miss it. Well, the internet and technology can create connections and community, which is really super cool. You can meet people, new people this way. Being joy to people's lives. Check in to see it is, in fact, running your life. A way to balance that is to create a schedule. Perhaps you need to have a schedule for that. You'll know. Just check in with yourself. As you spend out in nature, maybe you'll get a different outlook on that. At your next social event, maybe suggest to put the phones on, mute. Do not disturb. Brother, check your phones first by around for everyone else, and have a no phone or technology policy at the dinner table. Talk to each other. Look at each other in the eyes and smile. Other friends and family members that you haven't connected with face to face for a long time? What have you been missing? This is life. So I'm connected to my highest and deepest self. What connection is my soul really seeking right now? That's a good question you want to ask, and that's what this card's bringing up. So as you can see so far with this oracle reading, it really has to do with going in, checking out into nature, checking into your higher self, connecting with nature spirits, which is really, as within, so without, as above, so below, to the left of me, to the right of me, in front of me, behind me, above and below. Courage. I am stronger than fear and bigger than doubt. I am light and I remain light. I trust in God and stand tall before the test of life. I grow and become wiser through every challenge. I am a being of a new life. We start new every day. Every day we start new. Joy. Like a child, I discovered joy in the simplicity of life. Happiness lies in magical moments, not in the material. Even the smallest joy is a greater source of light. It's a great source of light, even the smallest joy. And I love how these cards tie together. It's beautiful how this works. Little or big, big or little, it's all the same. Pay attention to the small things. When you're out in nature, again, pay attention to the small things. You're kind of maybe whispering around and forming that connection there, speaking to. Everything is happening now. And you'll see it when you believe it. You see it when you believe it. So take the messages, if they resonate with you, that is beautiful. If they don't, just simply pass this on. Perhaps share it with others if you feel like they could benefit from this. And again, it's a nice bridge in between just shutting off of social media for a little bit, even if it's for a couple hours, and then really find a connection and expand that in a different way. If that resonates, and it has to resonate, you use your own discernment. So thank you, Spirit, for these messages, and thank you for connecting here again. Appreciate you, and I will be back on Wednesday for the weekend ahead reading. And many blessings. Thank you.